The Book Buddy program at Dartmouth College is grateful to the Hasbro Children's Foundation for its generous support of our literacy and mentoring work with children.
Book Buddies was founded in 1989 at this college as a response to the problem of illiteracy in the surrounding communities of the college. And the idea was that it was home-based, it was enthusiasm-based, it was not to teach, it was not to lecture, it was not to go into the house and say, look, what you really need to do to raise your child right is do this. It was just, here's a college student who really wants to work with your little kid, who really just wants to say, this is great, this is fun, this is how I got to where I am because I love school. And since then, it's totally grown. We have 11 schools now. We have so many more little kids, so many more big kids. We're trying to spread it around the country. It's still very home-based. It's not, we do go to the schools, but that's not the goal. That's not the aim. We go to the home.
The Book Buddies is a program that targets children who are at risk for illiteracy. And after identifying those children in the schools, we try and model reading as fun in the homes, and that can be really important, doing it in that home environment to get all the members of the family excited about reading. And I think that it gives the volunteer time. I think that a lot of the volunteers I talk to, myself included, really love children's stories, and it's a way for the volunteer to kind of revisit their childhood as well as feel like they're sharing with a child the excitement they had when they first began to learn how to read.
I was pretty nervous. I've never had a little brother or sister. I'm the youngest one in my family, 2 older brothers and sisters, and so for me it was sort of something really new, and that was another reason I did it, was because I like kids, but I never had that younger sibling, and so I was a little nervous because I didn't really know how to deal with him. But it's worked out really well. The first time I met him actually went great. I was really amazed because I was really worried that it wouldn't go well and that we wouldn't hit it off or he'd be a real brat or something. But we read almost the whole time, and I met his brother and his family, and we played games at the end of the book buddy time, and when I was leaving, we just said goodbye, and the bond was sort of already there.
Well, first of all, you have someone that helps you learn. He's helping you learn reading. And also, a good friend. Book buddies help you, first of all. Like if you get a word wrong, they do lots of fun stuff with you. Like sometimes that you can go over to their dormitory and stuff. And they play games with you if there's any spare time after reading.
I expected actually going into it for it to be much more formal and structured, and for me to be teaching Christina, my book buddy, to read, but it's turned out to be much more of a, almost like a little sister relationship. We read, but we also do other stuff. I try and look at myself as a friend to Christina, and I know it makes her feel special when I come. She gets all excited and Mom, my book buddy's here, my book buddy's here. And so we try and actually just spend the hour, reading. We always read, unless I take her on a trip, but we'll read a book and then, like I said, do a story, draw a picture, act it out. But definitely the focus is to make it a fun hour so that she'll look at reading and books as something she'd be psyched to do. Like if she has a couple spare minutes, she'd want to pull out a book. Because I think that's where the program is going to make the most difference, is if you affect the child so that she looks at reading in a positive light.
Sometimes we play in the snow, in the leaves sometimes. It was fun to read. And she brought me a book about popcorn. The mom and the dad go out somewhere, and the kid call up his friend, have a have a party, and then and all his friends brought a whole bunch of popcorn, and they and they said, "Who's Pop? Who's there? Pop? Who's there?"
I think it's a wonderful program. It gives the kids extra skills that need extra help in reading, and it's a very good program. And I think it's helped her to recognize, sounding out some of the words, because I think, a lot of times I didn't watch them read, but Christina could sound out more words than she had, before. So I think Becky, must have sounded the words out with her, because I think, that's how she got to do some of the words.
I really think that there's a magic to words, and that's just such a wonderful thing to be able to share. That's what a volunteer can get out of the program is learning the joy of sharing that magic of words.
I'd say that Book Buddies is probably the best program in terms of, for 1 or 2 hours a week, for getting value out of your time and giving value for your time. I'd say it's the best program by far.
So I think it wakes you up and opens you up, and you're like, oh, I totally forgot that it's not just people stressing over midterms at this school.
I think I've gotten a lot out of the program. In fact, sometimes I almost feel bad that, I feel like it's giving more to me than I'm giving to Christina. The Dartmouth environment can be so overwhelming at times. And it gives you a chance to get off the campus. It definitely gives you a fresh perspective on what's important. Just really clarifies what I want out of life.